Marvel Rivals has taken over as the top hero shooter game in the genre, taking it over from Overwatch. I have a few different reasons why I think that's happening, so let's talk about that. Hello everybody and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Luminari and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be talking about the difference between Marvel Rivals and Overwatch and why I think Marvel Rivals is succeeding so well compared to Overwatch currently. I know that Overwatch has been the top tier game for the past 8-9 years at this point, but Marvel Rivals has now finally given it some competition. Do I think Overwatch is dead? Let's get that out of the way. No, I absolutely do not. I think both of these games have a place in the gaming world, but I think Marvel Rivals and Overwatch need to compare themselves to each other in order for both of them to succeed. If you like this sort of content, please make sure to drop a subscription down below, because I post weekly video content here on the channel every Sunday about 12 o'clock Central Time. If you like the idea of this video, please drop a like down below, and in the comments talk to me about what you think is going well with Marvel Rivals, because I love to read your comments and everything like that. So without further ado, let's jump into the video. So I have about 3 main points I want to make here, and the first one is just the absolute brand recognition that Marvel has. We have all, at least at this point, seen a Marvel movie, seen a Marvel character, or anything like that. If you walk up to almost anyone on the street and you ask them who is Spider-Man, they're going to have an idea of who he is. And I think just that plain recognition of some of our favorite characters is something that Marvel Rivals has going for it from the start. Unlike Overwatch, when you had this whole cast of characters that no one knew about and you had to establish their personalities, you had to make them interesting so that people could grab onto them. I think that is a harder task to do, but I think Overwatch succeeded on that. But as I was saying, Marvel Rivals already has these established characters both in movies and in comic books, which I think give it a huge boost to the audience that it's trying to reach. Also, not to mention that this is Marvel Studios, who's owned by Disney, or Marvel Games, who is also backed by Disney as well. So you have to think, even if this game started off nice and slow and it didn't have millions of players playing it from day one, they had so much funding into this game. Marvel's making money every single day, probably hundreds or even millions of dollars every single day, from their movies, from Disney Plus, from Marvel Unlimited, from this game, from Marvel Snap. All of these other big Marvel products that they have is making money for Marvel. So I think even if this game started off slow and they needed time to make the game good, they still had the backing from Marvel to make sure that this happens, including the movies and TV shows that we've been talking a lot about in point one. You can use skins from those TV shows, as you've seen with all the Guardians of the Galaxy, Thor, Loki, Scarlet Witch, Black Widow. All of these characters are getting skins from the Marvel TV shows, which are doing amazing. I'm guessing, I haven't seen any metrics, but they probably sell off the shelves like nobody's business. And not even to mention, day one, the first skin when you open the shop you saw was the No Way Home skin for Spider-Man, and I bet that did boatloads of money for this game. So you have to think, this game was already set up for success because of its brand recognition and because it had the backing of a major business making sure that it succeeded well. Point one kind of flows into point two a little bit. I was saying that the game itself is running smoothly for the most part. I know that there's some bugs that are happening right now the FPS, if you have a lower FPS, you do less damage or go not as far with specific abilities. And if you have a higher FPS, your ping is higher than it should be. And if you lower the FPS, your ping goes lower. That is all stuff that the devs have acknowledged and that they are working on, and it should be out either with patch 1, the first big patch with season 1, or it'll be done before then. And they are working on making sure that they're getting fixed. So they are making sure that they are talking to their community as well, which is a great thing. I talked a little bit about this in my top games of 2024 video, which you can click up above after this video. But day one, it was working. I remember sitting here at my desk with my girlfriend sitting on the couch behind me, and I was waiting for the game to open up. I was sitting here waiting, and finally, as it did, I was able to click in and I was able to play the game immediately. There was no, there's a server error, or no, you can't, we have a queue waiting for you to get in. I was able to get in instantly. The only thing that was not working at the time was the shop. And you know what? If the shop is the only problem that I had, day one, I'll take it. If I can't spend any money, maybe that's better for me than for the game, you know? But as I was saying, like, one of the big things that I see nowadays with online games is when you log into servers, they're not expecting this amount of people, and it really slows down the experience. But Marvel Rivals day one had everything ready to go. And their crossplay, for the most part, at least in my opinion, I haven't seen too many people talk about how if they're having problems with crossplay, but for me, crossplay has been working amazing. I am playing the game both on my high-end gaming PC and on the complete opposite, the Xbox Series X, or not X, S, which is the lower end console for the Xboxes, because I've been trying to get achievements for the game because I'm loving it that much. And both of them run really, really well for me. So I understand that on some gaming PCs, they're having problems with FPS and memory leaks and stuff like that, but I have not encountered those problems, so I can't talk much about them, just acknowledging that I have seen people have those problems as well. But overall, the game has been running pretty smoothly for most people. And the final and probably most important part about this is that the gameplay loop is so addicting and it works most of the time. You know, obviously there's times where it doesn't necessarily work out well because you're either tilting off the face of the earth or you gotta go do something else. But the best thing that I think they've added in this game, and I know it's a thing in Overwatch as well, but the one more round after you leave the match. The after the match screens are the best. You get to see who the MVP is, and if it's you, you get super excited. Like, yes, that's me. I did all that sort of stuff. It was amazing, wasn't it? And you get to like kind of brag about it. Or if it wasn't you, you can kind of acknowledge, yeah, that person on the other team was really, really good. Or yeah, that scroll girl on our team was really good as well. And then you get to click on your character and you get to watch a highlight of your character if you want to. And you can upvote everybody else. But the best thing is that little one more round thing that you can just click and it puts you back in queue. There's no confirming or anything like that. It just does it for you. And I can't tell you how many times it's reminded me of when I play Civilization 6 or 5 and the one more turn phenomenon where it's like, I could do one more. Let's do one more. And it's just because it's right there and it puts you right back into queue. And I can't tell you how many times that it has kept me in the game and how many winning and losing streaks I've gone on because of it. Another thing to add on to the gameplay loop as well is that you get almost a different map every time. And if you don't get a different map, you might get a different game mode of that map. So for example, in the Spider-Man Tokyo world that you have the escort mission that goes all the way through the map, and then you have the capture point and then escort the mission. Those are two separate game modes on two separate maps, but in the same universe. And I think that is super cool because depending on what map you get or depending on what game modes you get, it affects the characters that you want to play, especially tanks, because Groot is good on some maps, might not be as good on some of the other maps as well. But thinking about that in total, the game had a bunch of maps at the start, so it never feels stale to me because you get to play so many different maps and so many different game modes. And it looks like in season 1 we are getting even more maps, which is super exciting to play. And I am super duper excited for it. And another thing, and this is the reason why I really stopped playing Overwatch, was for a good chunk of a time there, they stopped giving you competitive results after playing matches. You had to play a certain amount of matches before you got your results. And let me tell you, that was one of the most disheartening experiences I've ever had in competitive video games. Because one of the things that keeps you going or makes me want to keep playing is knowing where my rank is or how well I'm doing or if I've kind of hit my peak, that sort of stuff. And I really enjoy getting that immediate feedback, being like, oh yeah, you did really good this game. You got 30 points towards your next rank, or your team lost, but you did really well. So you're only going to lose 15 points compared to the 30 some other people might. I really enjoy that immediate feedback, and it kind of shows you, okay, I have about 3-4 more games before I rank up, and you can kind of adjust yourself for that, or, you know, stop if you need to and do all that sort of stuff. And I think Marvel Rivals did a really good job at showing us that this really, really works. So that about wraps up my 3 major points in the video. Once again, brand recognition, the game is running nice and smooth, and the gameplay loop is addicting, and it works really, really, really well. And let me tell you, I am excited to stop recording this video and jumping back into Marvel Rivals because I am super addicted to the game right now and I am enjoying it. So once again, if you like this video, please click that like button down below and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are uploading weekly content here every Sunday about video games, and once a month we're going to be uploading something nerd related, and this month it is going to be about the first saga of One Piece. So if you like that sort of stuff, please click subscribe down below and leave a comment about how you feel about Marvel Rivals or Overwatch. I like hearing about both of them. Once again, thank you all for tuning into the video, and I hope to see you back here in the next one. See you guys then.